Let's now go to pathology of yin-yang imbalance. Let's discuss yin excess and yin deficiency. The excess of yin denotes the excess of yin pathogenic factors such as cold. In a broad sense, it may include also dampness and phlegm, as these pathogenic factors often originate from a deficiency of yang, although it should be stressed that both dampness and phlegm often associate with heat. There are basically four types of excess of yin. First, it can be an external yin pathogenic factor such as wind cold or cold dampness. Second, it can be external cold that invades the interior of the body directly without going through an exterior stage. This happens in the stomach, intestines, and uterus. Third, it can be external cold that invades the channels and joints, causing painful obstruction syndrome. And fourth, it can be internally generated dampness or phlegm. Although these two pathogenic factors generally derive from a yang deficiency, dampness and phlegm in themselves are yin. Pathogenic factors and the type of excess yin in this case. Therefore, there is a simultaneous excess of yin and deficiency of yang. Please note that even when they are combined with heat, dampness and phlegm are still yin pathogenic factors because they are an accumulation of pathological fluids. The clinical manifestations of excessive yin will involve cold symptoms such as feeling cold, cold limbs, pain, pale urine, etc. And the organs that are most affected by excessive yin are the stomach, lungs, intestines, and uterus. You can see here the types of excessive yin, the external yin pathogenic factor, like when cold, external cold invading the interior of the body directly, external cold invading the channels and joints, and internally generated dampness or phlegm all leads to excess of yin. The deficiency of yin involves the excessive consumption of the body fluids, the yin substances of each organ, the essence, and the blood. The main cause of yin deficiency in Western patients is overwork. Yin deficiency usually develops very gradually and slowly over several years. The only exception to this is the yin deficiency that can develop rapidly in febrile diseases when pathological heat consumes body fluids and yin. The clinical manifestations of yin deficiency involve dryness, such as a dry mouth in the afternoon, dry skin, dry eyes, etc. If yin deficiency persists for a long time, it eventually leads to the development of empty heat. The clinical manifestations will therefore involve heat, such as a feeling of heat in the afternoon, a dry mouth with desire to drink in small sips. It is important to note that although yin deficiency eventually causes empty heat, it may exist for years without generating empty heat. The tongue reflects these situations very accurately. Deficiency of yin manifests on the tongue with a lack of coating, that is, a tongue without coating but of a normal color indicates yin deficiency without empty heat. A red tongue without coating indicates yin deficiency with empty heat. The organs that are most subject to yin deficiency are the heart, lungs, kidney, liver, and the stomach. Thank you for your attention.